Hi, I am Ghaleon from quite many forums, and some people asked if I could make a live game recording from my normal session. So I decided to do one now. Anyway, I talk a bit of what sort of tools I'm using, and probably not going to focus that much on the hands. So I'm using the Circustrator here for automatic registration and table selection, basically. Uh, so here you can see that I'm currently playing four games and registered to 11 more games. Have not ended any games, and session time has been 3 minutes. And I think this is a very convenient tool for someone multi-tabling a lot. Quite decent flop. Let's hope he has some a6 or something. Anyway, here you can set, like, I tend to use this 250 games, so that after I have registered to that number of games, it will stop the registration process. And here this multi-table defines that it will register, there will be running and registered games, total of 32 games at maximum. And here you can also set that if you want to play like 2 hours and not by game amount. And here is the most important part of this software, basically, where you can define what sort of games you want the software to register and set different sort of parameters, like minimum buy-in, maximum buy-in, what sort of speed you want to play, and how many of these tables you want to have on the running or registered total. So that if I have 15, 55, 50 games on, it will not register those anymore. And here, if you click here, you can define these sort of values to different coloring codes you are using. So for me there is -2 for yellow, which means good or decent regular. Fish is green, which I give quite a much of positive value, and this light blue is kind of a bad reg, so I don't give as much minus on that. And the red is good reg, a very strong reg. And other codes I'm not really using. This first one is like unmarked layer, which has not been colored. So like unknown or just someone I have not marked will amount +2 points. And here you can set what sort of value you want at minimum for the game to have. Like if a 6 max game, it will try to register only if there is already 6 people registered, and it will then count the color codes and sum the points. And if it's -6 or more, it will mean that it will register. But if it amounts into like -8, it won't. No, should have opened that. It won't register. And I have set those for those for different game formats. So you can quite easily have kind of a table selection you want, and if you don't want any sort of table selection, you can just set those amounts so that you are basically always registering into every game. And here I have not really changed anything at all. So I like this tool a lot. It doesn't want to close it for some reason. And for these bet sizing definitions that it uses certain amount, I'm using the table optimizer, and also with that software I can move these tables to different slots like this. And if I want to focus on some certain table at a time, and I can move those back at any time I want, or when the hand ends, it will automatically do that. So here is the tool. The user interface is quite like how should I put it, like engineer UI design basically. But it looks very complex, and at first it was quite a job to find out what I want my settings to be. But main thing I use this are basically those slots so I can move the table where I want, and also the bet sizings, which are defined here for different sort of situations. And I'm probably missing some of these betting settings I should still define, but I think most of them are there on the correct area at least. And here I basically just want to use a sizing that I think I can get keep the villain in the pot and make the stack size so that I can easily solve the river if he calls. So I think like little below half what is enough. And well, as you saw here, I have set the maximum table amount to 32, which will, depending of the daytime, it might become quite close to that pretty quickly. Only thing I basically have to do for the registration side is to change the tabs sometimes so that it will also register into these 18-man games, because they are in the different tab in PokerStars lobby. So what I was thinking of focusing on this not a coaching but video was basically just that those tools, and also talk that I might want to see how my English is these days, because I haven't been regularly using English in spoken language like 2 or 3 years basically. So I think it's pretty good to see how does it go these days. And you can leave a feedback if my speak like is very bad or whatever it is. Here I 3-bet. Flop is pretty good overall. I'm going to c-bet here, and if he shoves I'm going to call because the both odds start to be pretty good. Here I think Villain can have some AX in his range, but it's still quite decent card to double barrel. Unfortunately he had hit the top pair, and I don't think I should be three barreling here. I even have some little bit of showdown value with King 10 hand versus hand like that. And if he has like ace, I don't think that unknown player would basically ever hero fold it. And here versus unknown, I'm going to just 3-bet queens, even versus early position raise. Here a regular goes for 3-bet. I don't see a lot of value in 4-betting, but still pocket queens are pretty strong to fold either. So, well, here I'm going to call once, and if he continues to barrel, I just give him respect, because I think from the start that his range is going to be pretty value heavy when he 3-bets pre-flop. And it's nasty spot because even if there was no king on the flop that my pocket pair would be over pair, it would still be quite a decent chance that villain has kings or aces here. So I'm not like loving the situation that I get 3-bet from a regular in that spot. I don't think there's that much value in betting there, even though the flop went checked. But if it's again checked, I will value bet the river if it's not some overcard for my pocket jacks. Well, he now bets and call comes. I think I versus 2, I'm just going to give up. So here you can see that when the table amount starts to go a bit higher, I'm going to check raise here. I think I won't get that much respect out of that reg, I think. Here another spot that I'm just going to fold. It looks pretty and feels pretty weak, but when that tight reg goes for 3-bet here, well, he can maybe have ace king, but not really anything weaker than my hand overall. So I think like offsuit ace king, it's totally fine to just fold even if it looks and feels nitty. So for 50-50 I have set my position on the left side so that I can very easily notice that okay, the game is now 50-50, and I don't need to focus that much on what game format I am in. Also, nowadays the 18-mans have that final table team, so I can easily see when it's the final table situation. Only thing currently that I might mix. Well, this is another of those spots that I'm not really beating much at all. I could have also checked back that flop. But I think like Villain would just call most likely when if he has ace x or smaller pair than mine. I don't think he's going to check raise like pocket deuces there likely or ace queen type of hand. So from that side value the c-bet is totally okay. Of course he can be bluffing there sometimes, but I think I have kind of tight reach on him. Currently I don't really have that much hands on Alter X because I had some problems with my database for Poker Tracker 4 and had to make a new one. And because of that I don't have that many hands currently. Well, here it's okay to open, I think, because the big blind was fish, so I'm pretty happy to play versus him from position with hand like that. But it's bit ugly because was two wrecks on my position on me. I will think that they are not going to flat that much, but might be 3-bet happy. Here will I check calls. I think I'm going to bet again here. I doubt he will take that sort of line with like much of stronger hands. And now he goes for shove. Well, I think I have to call it if I take that line. He had pocket 8s if I saw correctly. And I unfortunately hit the river, but nothing we can do for that. I think it was pretty close spot whatever to call, but I think when he takes like a line like that, it's more often some sort of drawy hand than strong mate hand on such flop, but not like jumping out of joy when he solves the turn. If he had just called, I would have been checking back the river unimproved. So here I don't think I should be opening 10-7 suited with these stacks with two acro regulars behind. And here William has checked 3 times. I think my hand is very often best one. It's possible he might have like pocket 10s or maybe some Jack 10 type of hand, but I would assume that most Jack X hands would be value betting the river at least. So I think it was okay spot to go for 14 value bet. But okay, also check-in would have been perfectly reasonable play. But this sort of video is not really that great for like coaching video format because you don't really see what I'm doing on every spot. Here Villain continues to bet. I don't think we can fold top pair yet. Of course it's ugly if he goes for 3 streets of value, but About third bet here. But I think he's going to two barrel often enough that we should not be giving up our top pair, even if our kicker isn't like the greatest one. So now we have 30 tables, and as you can see, there's quite huge number of hands coming all the time. So basically, what does it mean? Mean that I might be doing some misclicking like I did here with pocket sevens, and it's not like I could make as optimal decisions on hands as if I were playing like 20 tables or 15 tables. But I think overall, from the dollar per hour view, it's still better to play this sort of bigger amount. And also when I'm going for the Supernova Elite, trying this year, I need to have as high a volume as possible. Or another option would be to go for much larger average buy-in. But yeah, I'm playing like from $30 to $200 games these days. Not that much $200 ones, but $100 games are very normal part of my session. I think here it's reasonable to go for check on that flop, because I will have hard time to get value for my ace king holding pocket tens. Things like that tend to happen. I'm going for check call, basically three streets here, kind of under-wrapping my hand, and maybe he wants to go for bluffing. But I think that line is still going to be better than betting myself, because if they have like pocket tens, they might give up it straight away. When he checks the turn, I think I'm going to then go for value bet. It would be reasonable also to check again and try to induce him to bluff, but I think he's not going to bluff that often when he checks back the turn. 5 king was little weak overall. Here I think I can still solve this river. There's some unknown for value. He could have some 10-9 and still be calling. And here it's close with ace-9, but with the antes I think it's a reasonable call. So as you can see, I can't really I don't love to call that, but the pot odds starts to be pretty good. So I don't have that much time for like, if I stop to wait for or think certain hand, it very quickly becomes problem with other tables. When there is 30 tables running. But yeah, I think this was pretty much what I wanted to get from this video, so I'm going now to end it and have total focus on my games. So give your comments and if you have some questions about something, please do ask those. But I'm going to end this recording pretty soon, if I have time for that. That is